I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this on. All right, everybody, welcome to March 23rd, Jackson Township Planning Board meeting. This year's going fast. This meeting has been properly noticed in all the appropriate places and forums according to the Open Public Meetings Act, and I will leave it up to you, Madam Chairwoman.
Good evening. A roll call, please.
Mr. Brezzi.
Here.
Mr. Marzo.
Here.
Mr. Heller.
Here.
Mr. Parks. Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Ms. Santoro.
Here.
Mr. Tremor.
Here.
Mr. Weingart. Mr. Sullivan.
Here.
Dr. Campbell.
Here. Approval of minutes for March 9th, regular meeting. Need a motion, please?
Motion by Sullivan. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Brezzi.
Yes.
Mr. Marzo.
Yes.
Mr. Heller.
Yes.
Mr. Parks.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. Santoro.
Yes.
Mr. Tremor.
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes. Payment voucher for recording secretary for March 23rd. A motion, please?
So moved. Second, Sullivan.
Mr. Brezzi.
Yes.
Mr. Marzo.
Yes.
Mr. Heller.
Yes.
Mr. Parks.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. Santoro.
Yes.
Mr. Tremor.
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes. For engineering and planning matters, Mr. Klee, I think you have something for block 13801.
Correct. An application we received for a courtesy review from the Board of Education. The proposal is to install solar powered soccer and field hockey scoreboards at 125 North Hope Chapel Road. I understand somebody's here from the Board of Ed to give any.
Yes. Would you like to come forward, please? Good evening.
Hello.
We'll be having you sworn in, please.
Oh.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Anthony Bruno, Jackson Township Board of Education, Director of Buildings and Grounds.
All right,
And would you like to make a statement, sir?
I'm here to hopefully that it gets approved. What we're doing is we're taking one signage from Jackson Township Middle School, formerly known as Memorial High School. We're going to move it over to Jackson Township High School on the other side. We're going to install the signage, and it's going to be a solar signage. That's where it's going to be getting all the power, so there's no any electric beams.
Oh, I'm a big fan of solar. Very good. We'll take a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request from the Board of Education. Sullivan.
well, just to be clear, this is a courtesy review standard. So what happens is that the board can weigh in on, a courtesy review is, because there's a couple of people here who haven't seen one before, it's exactly what it sounds like. So under the municipal land use law, we have the ability of giving feedback, we have the ability of providing input. We can do a determination as to our findings, but there's really no, they're coming here as a courtesy to fill us in kind of on what they're doing, not the other way around. So if we want to do a vote on, what they represent, just to kind of have a,
Anyone have any comments?
you can open it up to the public, it's fine.
Would anyone in the public like to come forward to comment on this proposal? I think we could just have a general approval.
That's fine.
We'll just, why don't you just do an approval?
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the courtesy application from the Board of Education. Sullivan.
Second, Brezzi, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come out.
Thank you very
and
much. Have a
Good
good evening,
luck.
everybody.
Go Jackson. All right. Mr. Shea, we have some resolutions.
Yes, we
The
do.
clerk will read.
Resolution 2026-05, Resolution of the Planning Board of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, granting conditional use for a home occupation for mechanical/motor repair and maintenance facility with design waivers for Mocrea Motor and Marine LLC, Block 10201, Lot 8.
We need a motion to approve, please.
So moved, Sullivan.
Second.
Mr. Brezzi? Mr. Marzo?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Yes.
Mr. Parks?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Santoro?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Resolution 2026-06, resolution of the Planning Board of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, granting preliminary and final major site plan approval, an approval amendment for medical office use for Hal Realty Associates LLC, Block 7403, Lot 2.
We need a motion, please.
Motion, Heller?
Second,
Second, DeMarzo.
Mr. Brezzi?
Yes.
Mr. Marzo?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Yes.
Mr. Parks? Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Santoro?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Resolution 2026-07 of the Township, of the Planning Board of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, granting administrative approval for Six Flags Great Adventure 2026 Capital Improvement Program regarding Hurricane Harbor, Block 3101, Lot 11.01.
Before we begin, could you check, please, to see if Mr. Tremor is on those resolutions for approval?
No, he was not eligible for 5 and 6.
Okay, thank you.
You are eligible for the Six Flags.
Good, thank you. We need a resolution, please, for 07.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Great Adventure resolution.
Second.
Mr. Brezzi?
Yes.
Mr. Marzo?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Yes.
Mr. Parks?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Santoro?
Yes.
Mr. Tremor?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
And the last one is Resolution 2026-08 of the Planning Board of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, granting administrative approval for Six Flags Great Adventure 2026 Capital Improvement Program regarding the Safari Base Camp, Block 3101, Lot 11.01.
A motion, please.
I'd like to make, second, Sullivan.
Mr. Brezzi? Mr. Marzo?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Yes.
Mr. Parks?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Santoro?
Yes.
Mr. Tremor?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
And Dr. Campbell?
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Peters, anything from your point of view? No, ma'am. Mr. Klee, anything from yours? Thank you. Mr. Shea, anything from yours?
None on my end.
Okay, then we'll move on with the agenda for Block 1102, Lot 24.2. Ms. Jennings. Been a while. I think we have some new equipment.
Thank you. Good evening. For the record, I'm Donna Jennings from the law firm of Wilentz, Goldman, and Spitzer. On behalf of the applicant, WB Ocean, we're here actually just seeking a one-year extension of the three allowed extensions under statute. Essentially, the applicant has received most of its outside agency approvals, but the county has asked us to realign Feister Road, which is it's at the intersection of Farmingdale and Feister. So we've been working with the county on that. And so we just need a little bit more time to iron everything out. Really, that's essentially it. I do have our engineer here with you if you want to take any specific testimony on that, but otherwise, it's pretty straightforward.
It's something that we requested right from the beginning. So
Correct.
That's great. Let's take a motion on that. Do we need a motion on that, please?
Entirely up to you guys.
Let's get it done.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the extension. Sullivan.
Second, Heller.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions? Good. Thank you. Next, we will be hearing about Block 22401, Lot 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, 510 Whitesville LLC.
Thank you again. For the record, Donna Jennings from the law firm of Wilentz, Goldman, and Spitzer. On behalf of the applicant, as the board is aware, the applicant is here this evening seeking preliminary and final major site plan approval to develop the property with a three-story, approximately 15,000 square foot office building and warehouse consisting of approximately 12,750 square feet. Property is located in the Pinelands Manufacturing Zone, and Lot 7 is currently improved with a single-family dwelling. All existing improvements will be removed. The proposed development will be used to support the applicant's construction business by housing applicant's office functions and providing warehouse space. The applicant proposes to place its office building towards the front of the property where its employees will arrive during normal business hours. And behind the office building, the applicant proposes a warehouse that it will use primarily to store and prepare materials in connection with the construction business, and also an area of storage of small construction equipment and vehicles used during the business operation. There are no variances with this application, but the applicant is seeking 4 design waivers, but the site engineer will give you some more details on that. In support of the application, the applicant will rely on the following 4 witnesses. Shlomo Horowitz, the applicant's representative, Joseph Portnoy, the applicant's engineer, Miri Davis, the applicant's architect, and John Ray, the applicant's traffic engineer. For the record, the applicants have received the following review letters: the board planner's review letter dated February 12, 2026, the board engineer's review letter dated March 17, 2026, the shade tree review letter dated March 23, 2026, the Bureau of Fire Prevention dated February 6, 2026, Environmental Commission dated December 1st, 2025, and Traffic Safety Review Letter dated January 28, 2026. So with that, I'd like to call actually up the first witness is the applicant's representative, Shlomo Horowitz, who will
Before we begin, I'd like to see if Mr. Peters has any comments on this application before we begin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Ms. Jennings indicated, we have a report dated February 12th of 2026. We would expect during testimony that perhaps the first witness, the use issues go away. There was a concern with regards to the PM1 zone not permitting the outdoor storage of goods or products. There appears to be some discrepancy on the plans, what's going on out in the field, what's proposed on the plans, and what's permitted in the zone. So from a procedural perspective, we would suggest to the applicant that they address that item so that the board can retain jurisdiction of the application, lest they require a use, or either a use or conditional use variance, which this board cannot hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Klee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Really not that much to add. One of the waivers the applicant was initially requested was an EIS. That's been submitted, so we definitely should have some testimony as far as the findings of that. There has been some discussion about the applicability of the conservation overlay zone. I'd just like to throw on the record that those provisions relate to non-Pinelands portions of the township. The conservation overlay requirements of what of them be in an LOI. This is in the Pinelands, and Pinelands does not issue an LOI, and there's no mention of this conservation zone within the Pinelands regulations of the zoning ordinance. So I just wanted to throw that on the record, but we should have some testimony regarding the EIS that's been submitted.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jennings.
Okay, so actually, instead of Mr. Horowitz speaking, Yitzi Carey is going to speak on behalf of the applicant. So Yitzi? You can sit right here. Hopefully this works.
And if you'd be so kind as to speak clearly into close to the microphone, because there are people that are listening at home. And Mr. Shea will swear you in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and spell your last on the record.
Yitzchak Carey, Carrui.
And you're testifying as a professional planner?
No.
A professional engineer?
Nope.
Oh, fact witness. Okay.
Fact,
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
thank you.
So just for the record, Mr. Carey, what is your relationship with the applicant?
I'm the CEO of the company.
Okay, and if you could, do you know why the applicant selected this particular site?
Yeah, because of its location, close to proximity to some of our sites, our employees, and it's just a good location for, a lot of our different business actions in Ocean County.
Okay, and regarding the office building, what is proposed to occur inside?
Regular office activity, employees doing their job, accounts receivable, accounts payable, plans, permitting, regular office work.
Okay, and how many tenants will occupy the building?
One.
One tenant per floor?
One tenant per floor. There should be 3 floors, so each floor will have one tenant.
And are any of the tenants known from the office building?
Not yet. Right now, we just have one Atlantic site construction, and that's what we have currently.
Okay, and approximately how many employees are expected to arrive at the site?
20.
Okay, and when are the employees expected to be in the office building?
Regular business hours, 9 to 5,
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
And what kind of deliveries do you expect to the office building?
Regular office deliveries, UPS, Amazon, FedEx, nothing out of the ordinary.
And how many deliveries to the office building do you expect per week?
5 to 8 deliveries.
And what will occur in the warehouse?
The warehouse we're going to use to service Atlantic site construction, so we'll have a mechanic for our vehicles. We'll have some storage for our material. We'll have some of our smaller material machines, like we have snow plows or whatever it is, small uses.
And will there be any equipment or vehicles coming and going on the site on a daily basis?
Yeah, we'll have probably 2 pieces of equipment going on and off the site.
Okay, and there'll also be, I guess, the employees' vehicles coming to and from the
Yes,
site?
so employees will come in the morning, they'll park in front of the building, and they'll use the parking area.
And how many tenants do you expect in the warehouse?
Just us, just one.
Even though there's 4 units listed in the warehouse, you're just going to have one?
We're just going to have one tenant. We're going to use all the warehouse space.
Okay. What is the purpose of the large truck-sized parking spaces in front of the warehouse garage doors?
Our dump trucks park there at night, and some of our pickup trucks will be parking there.
Okay, and what is the purpose of the parking area at the rear of the property?
I'm just staging some of the equipment that we don't use often, just some area that we can leave some of our, let's say, lights or different small pieces of equipment.
Okay, and how many vehicles will be used in connection with the warehouse?
Probably 7 to 8 vehicles, dump trucks, pickup trucks, lightweight vehicles, some of our mechanic trucks.
Okay, and how many employees do you expect to occupy the warehouse space?
10 to 15 employees to work in the back area.
And what days and times do you expect the employees to be in the warehouse?
They start a little earlier than the office space. They'll probably be there 6:37 to around 4:35.
And what types of deliveries are expected for the warehouse?
Material, parts, hoses, different things that we use in our regular day-to-day business. That's what we'll usually, we'll get delivered to the back.
And how often will these deliveries occur?
I would say multiple times a day. If we need a part, we'll have AutoZone come out and bring us, a single part. So they come a little more often than the regular office building. It's probably up to 5, max 10 deliveries a day.
Okay, and how do you expect to use the storage shed and pipe storage shed that are located south of the office building and the warehouse? What's going to be stored in those buildings?
That will have material for our business, so we'll have some storage of pipes that we use often throughout the day that we need to pick up quickly. Just general piping and material that we need to use often.
And do you anticipate any outdoor storage of any materials or goods?
No,
If vehicle maintenance is required, do you anticipate providing maintenance on-site?
for the vehicle, yes.
And that's inside the
That's
warehouse?
all in the warehouse, yeah.
And will the applicant plan to construct a project in phases?
We don't plan to, but we don't plan to, but it's possible we put up the office building first.
Okay, and will the applicant be responsible for the maintenance of the buildings and the grounds?
Yeah, we'll provide maintenance for the whole building.
And how do you plan on providing security for the site?
Security cameras and hiring a security company to monitor that.
And is the applicant prepared to consolidate the lots as a condition of approval?
Yeah.
Okay, with respect to the use itself, it's probably more appropriate for the planner to discuss that, since he's just a fact witness, kind of set him up. So if the board wants to ask this particular witness any questions, that's fine, and then we'll go on to the planning testimony.
May I ask is there overnight parking of those larger vehicles?
Yeah, the vehicles will be parked there overnight. So the way it works is we have a driver come, he'll pick up, let's say, a dump truck, he'll go do his shift, and then he'll come back, park, and take his vehicle home and come back the next day for his work.
Any questions from the board? Mr. Brezzi?
I have one question, may not be the right person to ask. You mentioned the warehouse and maintenance for the vehicles in it. Are there any floor drains in the warehouse?
Floor drains?
Yeah.
The architect probably could answer that
That's what I
question for you.
thought. Okay, I just want to make sure that gets addressed. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Ms. DeMarzo?
How many vehicles do you have in total that'll be there?
On site?
Yeah.
Well, most of them, let's say the dump trucks are going to leave every morning. On site, I would say, depending on the maintenance, hopefully not too many, because we don't want them to be broken. But
What's your fleet look like? How many
I would
vehicles do
say
you have?
probably 10 to 20 vehicles, let's say.
And then equipment-wise, you said, just how many pieces of
So
equipment do you
equipment
have
we
that?
don't really have on site. It's mostly on our actual development sites where we're developing. They're not really stored there overnight or sitting there. If they need to get fixed, they'll come in, we fix them, and then we bring them back out to get used. I would say anywhere from 2 to 4 pieces, maybe max at a time.
And what type of equipment is moved? Because you say like two pieces of equipment will be moved every day. I'm just,
Right, so we have, let's say, a little boy that carries the machines in and out of the site. A machine comes in, it needs to be fixed, it needs to get an oil change, they'll bring it in, they'll fix it. It could be a quick thing. The next day, they'll bring it back out to the site. So you'll have one machine that's the low boy that's bringing them in and out. That's what's going to move 2 pieces of equipment. And then you have the different pieces of equipment that are going to get back and forth to get maintenance fixed or whatever the issue is.
okay, thank you.
And you have one tenant now for the warehouse, and you understand that if you decide to have more than that, you have to come back.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope to see you.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carey, thank you for your testimony. You've seen our report, the RVE report dated February 12th of this year?
The
I
board
have-
planner's review letter,
Okay,
have you seen this?
I didn't go through it, no.
Ms. Jennings, would you like to go through it with him?
Well, we're really going to have our experts go through the
No,
review
he's the guy
letter.
that's going to be using it, so he's the guy who needs to understand what's in it.
Sure.
So let me ask him this question. There's a comment in the letter that says,
What page are you on?
page 5, under the warehouse use, the warehousing or storage of goods and products is permitted, provided that no goods are sold from the premises, and provided further that all items to be stored are within an enclosed building. You can comply with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to ask that question when you were done, but that's fine.
He's the one that's operating it, so I want there to be no confusion if there's a problem in the field and we get a call from neighbors and say, we're not following it. We talked about it tonight.
Understood, thank you.
There's a section in the back of the plans that says small machine concrete parking area. That's the outdoor storage area we've made reference to?
Yes.
I didn't understand. Ask me again? Yeah.
Back left corner of the plans, there's a small machine concrete parking area. You said you're the owner's representative, so if you're telling us what goes on at the site, I want you to agree that machines will be parked out there. Not the-
Correct.
Not the storage of goods products, topsoil,
That's right here.
lumber, fencing. It says small machine, something with a motor.
Correct.
Correct.
And I would really say they're parked there.
That's all I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Klee? All right. No other questions for this witness at this time. Don't go far.
He won't, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to call up the site engineer, Joseph Portnoy.
Good evening.
Mr. Portnoy, Mr. Shea will swear you in.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Joseph Portnoy, Portnoy.
And if you could, Mr. Portnoy, give the board the benefit of your background and qualifications.
Yes, I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey, practicing 13 years in land development. I've bachelor's and master's degree in civil engineering. I've appeared before this board on several occasions.
Welcome back, Mr. Portnoy.
Thank you.
The board accepts his credentials?
Yes, we do.
If you could, just for the record, Mr. Portnoy, confirm that your office prepared the site plan?
Yes, we did.
And if you could describe the existing site conditions, and if you're going to reference any exhibits, please identify them for the record.
Okay, I believe we submitted a couple exhibits, so I would, if we can pull up, it was an aerial exhibit of the existing conditions. Yes, thank you. Okay,
And that's Exhibit A1?
yes. It's a little not so bright there, but the exhibit shows our project site outlined in red in the center of the site. Block 22401, lot 7 through 12. As noted, the lots will be consolidated as a condition. The property contains approximately 6.38 acres. After a right-of-way dedication to the county, it would be 6.07 acres. Of those, there was a question regarding how many acres are on the property excluding wetlands. When you buffers, there are no wetlands on the property. Excluding wetlands buffers, we have 4.17 acres. The property is fronting Whitesville Road. Right now, it has a single-family house and multiple accessory structures, which will all be removed. It's in the PM1, Pinelands Manufacturing Zone. The surrounding properties on this side of Whitesville Road are all in the PM1. The opposite side of Whitesville is in the industrial zone. Whitesville Road is a varying wet pavement. There's no curb or sidewalk along the frontage. There are no wetlands located on the site. There are wetlands off-site, both to the south and west. Some of those buffers to those wetlands do extend on the site. So there are wetlands buffers on the site. There are no wetlands. The wetlands were verified by the Pinelands Commission and were confirmed in the certificate of filing. The buffers to the wetlands to the west are 600 feet and to the south are 240 feet. As noted, being that this is within the Pinelands area, a letter of interpretation does not apply. A letter of interpretation is issued by the NJDEP, Department of Environmental Protection, to verify wetlands, but that only applies that within the Pinelands area. The Pinelands has jurisdiction over the wetlands, and they verify the wetlands through the certificate of filing.
And in that certificate of inconsistency that we received prior to filing this application, there are certain conditions that have to be met, correct?
Yes,
And the applicant will meet all those conditions before they get a final approval?
we will need to. So the way the process works is that after we had submitted to Pinelands, we received a certificate of filing, an inconsistent certificate of filing. They issue that when they feel your plans are, in your design, your plans are substantially conforming, and the last remaining items could be cleaned up later. So they won't give a inconsistent unless they feel there's something, whatever's left is relatively minor. And the process is they then direct you to proceed to the local municipal and county boards. And after should the project receive municipal and county approval, you return back to Pinelands later to finalize the outstanding items. And the approval cannot take effect until we received a letter of no further review from Pinelands. So it's not even possible to, Pinelands would not accept an application right now for those items. So it's inconsistent, but we remedy that after any other approvals.
And two of the conditions, if I recall correctly, on the permit is that the applicant is to remove the existing structure and they're to restore some of the buffer area that the existing structure that's been there for about 50 years is encroaching upon.
Correct. And looking at the aerial, to see there's an area of clearing in the rear of the site. So as part, a condition of the certificate of filing was the removal of any structures and the restoration of that area. And we have a restoration plan, including our site plan, which was approved by the Pinelands Commission.
Thank you.
Okay. The applicant proposes to construct can we switch to there's exhibit, colored site plan exhibit? Yes, thank you.
And just for the record, that's A2 that we're looking at now?
Yes. The applicant proposes to construct a 3-story, let's get this. It's very faint on the screen there. In the front of the site, there's sort of like a plus-shaped building. That is the proposed, thank you.
Boy, you guys got a lot of fancy stuff. Happy New Year.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Mayor.
Okay, the applicant proposes to construct office building in the front portion of the site. That has a footprint of 4,778 square feet. At 3 stories, that's a total of 14,334 square feet total floor area. In the rear portion of the site, we have a proposed single-story warehouse, 12,352 square feet. And there are storage sheds, that was referred to earlier, a pipe storage shed located alongside the warehouse and another storage shed located near the office area. The permitted use in the zones are general office facilities, professional and commercial office facilities, warehousing or storage of goods and products are all permitted uses in the zone.
And just quickly looking at that proposed site plan, the black dotted line, that is the wetland buffer area, is that correct?
Correct.
And so all improvements are outside now the wetland buffer area, where before the existing condition is the existing building and some disturbances within that buffer area, correct?
That is correct. And any previously disturbed areas within the wetlands buffer in the rear, and there's a small area in the front, will be restored, revegetated. The proposed development complies with all bulk standards, required lot area of 2 acres. We have 6.07 acres total, 4.19 acres excluding the wetlands buffers, conforms with all required building and parking setbacks, conforms with required lot coverage.
Just for the record, can you state what that is?
Yes, 50% lot coverage permitted, 49.71 is proposed. Complies with proposed building height where 50 feet is permitted and 44.94 is proposed. Complies with all required setbacks. There's a proposed driveway onto Whitesville Road. Again, Whitesville is a county road under Ocean County jurisdiction. A single ingress and egress driveway. It's designed with to accommodate the circulation of the trucks that are anticipated to the warehouse in the rear. Per the request of the fire department, we have added There's a grass paver emergency access to add additional circulation between the two portions of the site, designed to provide circulation, full circulation, both around the office building and around the warehouse building, plus with additional cross access between them. And I reviewed the circulation with the fire official. And then, okay. Whitesville is known as a county road. We've submitted to the county and we have a conditional approval. We are proposing widening to 30-foot pavement half width. We are proposing curb along the frontage. We're proposing striping per county. The county has improvement plans for the Faraday intersection, which is a little bit to the east of this site. So we are, we are coordinating our improvements with the county plans. No sidewalk is proposed along the site. There's no sidewalk in the area. So we are requesting a waiver from that. We understand that contribution will be needed to the sidewalk fund, should the waiver be granted. The traffic safety did request a dedicated left turn lane. Being that this is a county road, that the improvements will be dictated by Ocean County based on their review and their plans. They did have us review, the county did request, even though they are not proposing a left turn lane, in case they will, in the event that they would want to add that in the future, they had us model and design our site that the circulation will work, circulation site distance will work with that center turn lane, but they don't want us installing that right now. Regarding parking, the ordinance requires one space per 1,500 square feet of storage warehouse and one per 200 square feet for business offices. For the warehouse, based on the square footage, the 12,352 will need 8 spaces. Our plan note 9 spaces. Note addition to vehicles used in conjunction with the business, those will be utilized. The truck spacing, those are the vehicles utilized for the business are the trucks and other vehicles, as the applicant testified to earlier. For the business office, for the 14,334 square feet, we need 72 spaces. Our total required parking is 81. We are providing 4 EV spaces, which technically just are required down to 77, but we are proposing 97 spaces. So we're exceeding our required. We have 4 ADA spaces. So the parking may adjust during final revisions or design, but we have 20 spaces over. So we will be exceeding the requirements, even if we end up losing a space or 2. We are proposing 23 truck spaces along the warehouse building, which are 10 by 40. Those are size that kind of dump trucks, war trucks, and similar trucks for the business. There are 3 larger truck spaces. Those are to accommodate trailers, what I mentioned, low boys to haul equipment. We are proposing curbing along all parking spaces. So along the entire office area is all curved. We have curbed along the parking in the rear. We are not proposing curb along the rear warehouse area. The front parking area we are proposing asphalt pavement, while in the rear around the warehouse, storage warehouse, we're proposing stone paving.
But isn't that a design waiver, just so the
That
record's
would
clear?
be a design waiver, yes. There's a 45-foot long by 12-foot wide loading area along the office to accommodate any deliveries to the office, UPS, FedEx, etc. So they have a place to pull over and unload to service the office. As noted, expect typical office deliveries, UPS, FedEx, etc. There is existing water along Whitesville Road, so we propose domestic and fire water connections to Whitesville Road. We are proposing several fire hydrants on site as requested by the fire department. There's gas along Whitesville Road, so we'll have a gas connection. There is no public sewer available in Whitesville Road, so we have a proposed septic system. This is going to utilize an advanced treatment system as required by Pinelands. It's been preliminary reviewed by Pinelands and will still be subject to Ocean County Health Department review and final approval.
Can you just indicate on the plan where the septic system's going to go?
Yes, the septic system is located in this area in between the office and the warehouse. There was a comment in one of the Pinelands inconsistency was no location of that, but they want a little farther from the wetlands buffer, but we have already adjusted to accommodate that. The proposed stormwater management is compliant with the DEP stormwater rules and Pinelands requirements. Those small-scale green infrastructure. We have several areas of porous pavement. We have some subsurface infiltration, and we have surface infiltration basins, 2 surface infiltration basins. All the stormwater management will be privately owned and maintained. And O&M manual, any required D notices will be filed. For landscape and lighting, we're proposing street trees, parking lot plantings around the perimeter and the islands, screening along the northern parking lot, foundation plantings. The basins are infiltration basins, so they have a sand bottom, there's no plantings, but around the perimeters we have landscape. And then we're preserving the landscape along the southern part of the site within the wetlands buffer, and also revegetating any disturbed areas within the buffer. Okay. The lighting, we have full lighting around the office building. All of the parking lots will be lit. I know there was a comment regarding some areas that may need some adjustments, which we will address. In the rear of the site, we have building-mounted lighting on the warehouse building. The parking lots will be lit during typical business hours. The light will be on timers, dawn to dusk, and some security lighting will remain on overnight. In terms of signage, the fire department requested an address sign along the front of the site, so we'll have an address sign at the front of the property. There's no monument sign proposed other than that. There is a building-mounted signage, which the architect will show that on our architectural plans, but it's proposed to conform with ordinance requirements with the 25, the height of the sign will be under 25 feet. Some other miscellaneous items, we have proposed trash enclosures for the office, and over here, another trash enclosure in the rear to service a warehouse. Trash will be taken by private hauler. No locations are the trash enclosure and screening are compliant with ordinance section. All any roof-mounted HVAC equipment will be screened. Any exterior mechanical equipment should be required will be screened. The building will be sprinklered. We will comply with the clearing and grading and soil fill ordinance. We will not exceed 1,000 cubic yard of export. We actually, based on a preliminary analysis, we expect to import about 1,700 cubic yard of fill for the construction. No industrial waste will be discharged from the property, and the applicant does intend to place a temporary construction trailer during construction. In terms of approvals, we have a Pinelands certificate of filing, which we discussed. Have a conditional Ocean County approval. Ocean County soils is pending. We have an Ocean County Health Department issued on 5/15/24 a letter of no objection. We have a statement of utilities from the JTMUA, and we've received several review letters, which we referred to earlier, so we'll work with the township agencies to address any of their comments.
Are there any issues with any of the comments in the review letters that you looked at that you'd want to address now?
Traffic safety, we noted earlier that they had requested that left turn lane, but it's subject to county jurisdiction. The county does not want that left turn lane at this time. And the one other item in the fire official had requested, if possible, to add a second, driveway onto the site. I reviewed it with the fire official, and they understand that may not be feasible. So we'll say we agreed that we'll provide a response, and he said he can't be okay with the single entrance, but that will be addressed in correspondence with the fire official. Just to summarize the waivers, design waivers that are required, where ordinance section 244-203A, where sidewalks and curbing shall require along all streets, and there is no proposed sidewalk along the frontage of Whitesville. Section 244-197H, where all parking areas should provide pavement, where parking and the parking areas and circulation outlets for passenger vehicles is paved, but the rear portion of the site is gravel and with portions of porous pavement. Section 244-197J 2A2C, where no parking shall utilize required entrance and exit drives or major circulation drives as parking access aisles, where we do have parking along the access aisle to the rear of the site. And section 244-197J 1F, where lighting is required for all parking lots. And we are, while we are proposing lighting in the front to 0.5-foot candles, we are not providing lighting in the entire rear area. We are providing building mounted lighting around the building area, but not around the entire parking area. There was also noted a waiver for 244-197G, where the perimeter of all parking areas and internal islands within parking areas open to general public shall be concrete curbing. It was noted as a waiver in the reviews. We do have curbing proposed in the front parking area which is open to general public. The rear area does not have curbing, but that is not open to general public. But if that's required, we are, if the professionals feel we need a waiver, we're requesting that as well. That is all.
Thank you.
Mr. Peters, anything from you? Mr. Klee?
Just a couple things. No sidewalk, but the curbing is going to extend the full frontage.
Yes.
And you will consolidate the lots?
Yeah.
The anticipated flow to the septic system, if that triggers any special permitting, you'll get that?
Yes.
The gravel area in the back where ordinance would require paving, concerns about dust control, or how's that going to be handled?
We'll provide the detailed specifications of the proposed paving. It's on the plan, and we'll provide the details of that.
I'm looking at the plan, and it looks like there's, I'll say, 3 different types of pavement. The heavy-duty pavement from Whitesville directly into the gravel parking area, and that seems to make sense. Around the building, it looks like, your typical section of pavement, except for the back. Half of that looks like it's porous pavement. The reasoning behind that?
There are areas of porous pavement to meet the Pinelands requirements. So being this is in Pinelands area, they require 2-stage treatment. If this would be anywhere else, we'd have our site going into our basins. but Pinelands requires all stormwater to go through two types of treatments. So some of that is being treated through porous pavement as well.
And you needed half that drive lane to meet that.
Yes.
On, I'll call it the north property line, where I have like, it looks like 24, maybe 34 spaces. Porous pavements, along, I'll say most of them, but I think the last 7 or 8, it goes to gravel. If these parking spaces are for the employees or people that are, I guess, maybe in the office building, shouldn't they be also have porous pavement?
The parking ends over there, that narrows up a little bit over there, that the parking ends there. The porous pavement has been designed to be at the lowest points in the parking area, so the water flows towards the porous pavement, so it runs over areas and goes into the porous pavement. But all the parking is proposed to be asphalt, the passenger car parking spaces.
And based on the stormwater concerns, it looks like we have 2 sections of porous pavement, one along the south property line and one, I'll say, in the middle of the site. Is that also related to stormwater? Why isn't that, gravel?
Yeah, those are within, surrounded by gravel area, but that is no porous pavement again was required to comply with the Pinelands requirement.
And the last one, the storage area, the 1,575 square foot proposed storage shed. How do you access that?
This storage shed,
Yes.
that's accessed, that'll be managed by the building owner. So those parking spaces can be marked employees of Atlantic site. This way they control access and they could, have those moved if necessary to access that.
Would there need to be any type of depressed curb or something, to facilitate placing storage material in there?
Well, we could review that, and if necessary, what, we can add. I'm not sure what they're using for something that would require that type of depressed curb, but we'll review that. We can add that, a depressed curb or ramp into that.
And on the depressed curb issue, can we get some depressed curbing between the heavy-duty pavement and the gravel surface area right there?
Yeah, we could put depressed curb in there. Yes.
That's all.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Mr. Rogers.
In agreement with our engineer, the access to that small storage shed, I believe should be dedicated parking to do so. Concrete walkway to parking lot to the structure.
We have extra parking as noted, so we could take away a parking space or two and include that.
A lot of things wind up being piled up outside the shed as they get to it.
Yeah.
Best interest to do that.
Yeah, so we'll remove 1 or 2 spaces as necessary to provide an opening there, access.
Second item, did I hear you say that there was no lighting in the back half of the, site lighting in the back half of the,
There is lighting mounted on the building, so that's throwing out from the building, but it's not, there's no poles around the perimeter. So there is building mounted lighting over here, so it is lit, but not all areas of the gravel area are lit to the 0.5-foot candle.
depending on the projection of the lighting, which I don't think reach that distance, I might be concerned about that perimeter lighting. They need to add a pole or two, in my opinion.
Just pulling up the lighting plan to see what that. So it does, the lighting does cover the rear, it gets a throw around that building. It lights up, it covers all the parking areas.
Not the driveways,
What?
not the driveways.
It does not fully cover all the driveway there.
Okay, that's my point.
Yes, we'll review with the applicant. We can add some additional lighting along, some additional pole lighting over there to cover that. We may not, meet the full, half a foot candle, but some additional lighting to cover that area to some degree.
I don't think it's going to take much.
I think Mr. Rogers is correct because at 5 o'clock, it gets dark here in the winter. So
Yeah.
when those people are traveling out of that area, they need to be safe.
Yeah, so we'll add additional lighting.
I was also thinking you might have a striped walkway from the office building to the storage area where you're going to have your depressed curbing and lose those parking places just as an extra safety feature.
Yeah, we could put a crosswalk there, yes.
Good, thank you.
Make that a condition.
Anything else from the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Tremor?
You said that the septic field was found as an inconsistency with the Pinelands Commission?
The inconsistency, they approved the design. The inconsistency was the proximity. There's off-site wetlands. There are this is a 240-foot wetlands buffer. So they wanted either the septic, they wanted the septic 300 feet from the wetlands. So they asked us to slide the septic over a couple feet. They even, it was done already. That was their suggestion. They noted in their inconsistency that could easily be remedied by sliding it over, which we've done.
And then is that the same with, excuse me, is that the same with the stormwater basin that's directly next to the buffer?
No, that's not, there's no concern with stormwater near, they have no concern with the stormwater near. It's just a requirement for septic systems.
No further at this time, ma'am.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. DeMarzo?
Could you tell me a little bit more about what's going to be stored in the storage sheds on both sides? Because I would kind of surprised to have storage shed where there are warehouses. I would think that you could store things within that warehouse space. So if you could just tell me a little bit more about those.
And that's really more for the operations. My understanding, you see the long, narrow shed, that's specially designed for pipes, for long materials that's easier to take in and out, I get like from the side rather than, from inside the warehouse building, easier access. And the front is for the tenant's use. I'm not, that's not I'm not familiar with the specific use.
We can have the operations person come back up and answer that question. for
Thank you.
When we do, can we verify what, if any, utilities are in those? And I guess from your planner or some witness, if they're expected to be considered as accessory structures to the principal uses on the site?
Yeah, the storage shed is supposed to be accessory to the office building, and the pipe shed is accessory to the warehouse. It's expensive pipes that are in there, so they don't want them mixed up with everything else. So that's what's special about that.
In terms of utilities, the pipe shed, I don't believe that has anything. The other shed, I think may have lighting, will have lighting in it. I don't believe it has any other conditioning or anything.
We can have the architect also answer that question.
Mr. Clee?
Just quick, from,
Up the microphone.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
The environmental impact statement. Do we have the preparer of that document, Mr. Dubois?
No, they're not here.
They're not here.
No.
So any questions about the impact statement?
I can try referring to it. I was not the one that prepared it, so it depends if it's something that I'm qualified to.
I'm just more questioning threatened and endangered species.
So this is within the Pinelands. Pinelands regulates threatened endangered species very heavily. And they regulate not just within wetlands like the DP. Their method of enforcing threatened endangered species protection is through wetland buffers. For example, typically you have a 50-foot wetlands buffer. If there are threatened endangered species, they extend that to 150 to provide protection. And that's really their only mechanism. Pinelands, on the other hand, can regulate what we call uplands, area outside of wetlands. for threatened endangered species. So if you have threatened endangered species anywhere on your site, they will restrict your development on that. So as part of the Pinelands, so without getting into the EIS, just as part of any Pinelands review, that is one of the first things that they look at is threatened endangered species. So by the Pinelands issuing the certificate of filing with, they did a threatened endangered species review and are not concerned with anything on the site. If they would be concerned with any plants or animals on the site, or habitats, they would not issue a certificate of filing for any potential habitats without doing habitat studies.
I have a question on that. Can you, this is probably for Ms. Jennings, who did the preparation for the environmental impact study?
The engineering firm is Du
That's the
Bois,
server.
DUBOIS and Associates.
No, that's who prepared it.
Yeah, well, so in my notes I have here, I know that we just talked about the environmental endangered species inventory. Can you elaborate when it was done? Because there's inconsistencies that we found based on the Environmental Commission findings that you do note that there is multiple endangered and threatened species in the area, but there was none directly found on the property. So how do those two not conflict each other?
Well, you asked when was it prepared? It was just done, we were asked to do it, and that's why we carried the December meeting. So this was prepared January 16, 2026.
Yeah, so that was one of my points being is that we did it in endangered and threatened species inventory at the peak of hibernation for the specific endangered and threatened species in the area. So if it's in peak hibernation, how are we doing an accurate report that there is no species during that time when it's their peak hibernation?
I mean, I would have to bring that specific person here to answer that question. Can't answer that question. I'm not qualified.
Understood?
And just to be clear, so this application is going to be conditional upon a no further review letter and a no call-up letter by Pinelands, correct?
Right. All of this type of information is within the jurisdiction of the Pinelands, not with this board.
Well, specifically as to so not worried about that for a sec. It's just this application is going to be conditional upon Pinelands providing a no callback letter and a letter of no further review.
Correct.
So
We
that-
wouldn't be able to put a shovel in the ground without the
Right. So
Pinelands
all the
signing off.
inconsistencies have to be taken care of.
Correct. Just like every other outside agency that has jurisdiction over the
Right.
site, we can't do anything, even if you guys say A-OK.
And there will be a public meeting about this particular application. Is that what happens at the Pinelands Commission?
No, Pinelands only has, the only reason why there would be a public hearing if there was an inconsistency that we were not able to remedy, and then we would need some waiver, then we would have a public hearing. But as long as we could satisfy Pineland, if our goal is to satisfy Pinelands without requiring that. But if there is something we cannot, then there would be a public hearing.
Thank you for clarifying. Appreciate it.
Madam Chairwoman, doesn't the township have an ordinance that that the Pinelands can't take the final say in this situation?
This is I believe it's state requirement, and the state overlays the township, and the Pinelands Commission exceeds the DEP, the township, the Environmental Commission, this board, and every place else. The Pinelands rules in this state.
Correct.
Understood. Thank you.
Any other questions from this board? Our professionals?
Yeah, so it just go through the waivers one more time with me. I just want to make sure that because there's two in one of the review letters, two in another.
Yeah,
So I wanna
there's
make sure
4
that we-
total.
Yeah.
Correct. So just if you could just go over them one more time.
Well, just give me the titles just so I can, or the ordinance numbers.
Sure. Ordinance Section 244-203A. That's the sidewalk and curbing along all street frontages, where we have no sidewalk and we have partial curb is proposed. Ordinance Section 244-197H, where pavement for parking areas is required, and we have a combination of gravel and porous pavement proposed near the warehouse area. Number 3, from ordinance section 244-197, J2A2C, where no parking stalls to be located at the entrance and exit drives or major circulation drives is required, but parking is proposed with access to the main circulation drive, about 38 parking spaces along the north property line. And then the final one is from ordinance section 244-197, J1F, where lighting is required for all parking areas and no lighting is proposed for the vehicle parking area for the warehouse, the circulation drives, an area for outdoor storage, but we agreed as a condition of the approval that we would add some additional light poles over there to light up that area better.
Good to go.
Okay.
And no variances, correct?
No variance, correct.
So there's 2 variances called out in Mr. Clee's reports, but we can get to that. Is the planner or is the engineer is going to be testifying?
No, there is no variances. We can
variances.
address those right now if you would like on the record, or Doug could
Let's put
confirm.
it on the record, please.
And I would agree. I first looked at it, I took those setbacks from the wetland buffer line, and there was a requirement in the ordinance that you measure from the wetlands line, which is further away than the
Right.
wetlands, so no variances as far as that goes. But I will add one more design waiver, perimeter curbing. You mentioned that the surfacing needed to be pavement, and you're proposing gravel, but also the perimeter of that rear parking area would need curbing. So I think you're looking for a waiver there also.
Yeah, it's under that first section, ordinance section 244-203A. We're doing partial curb, it's proposed, so that was captured under that.
I think you're referring to 244-197G. That's one was referring to parking areas on internal islands. It does say open to the general public. So that was, no, the rear parking is not open to the general public, but we'll ask for that waiver to be safe.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Thank you. Anything else from our board? Our professionals are good. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
And at this time, if we could bring up the traffic engineer, who is switching hats, so instead of John Ray, we're going to have a special appearance by Scott Kennel.
He's been here before. He knows.
I think maybe once or
He knows the
twice.
territory. Thank you.
Please raise your right. Oh, there you go. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, please state your name, spell your last for the record.
Yes, Scott Kennel, Kennel, with McDonough and Ray Associates, located at 1431 Lakewood Road, Manasquan.
All right.
Well,
Testifying as traffic
We
engineer.
accept your credentials as usual. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And if you could, Mr. Kennel, just for the record, could you confirm that your office prepared a traffic report dated January 14, 2025?
Yes, we did.
And if you could go through that report and indicate for the board your findings and conclusions.
Yes. So again, we submitted a report dated January 14, 2025. As part of that, we did an inventory of existing traffic conditions and roadway conditions in the area. We have access out to Whitesville Road, which is also County Route 527, which adjacent to the site has a north-south orientation and has a posted speed limit of 40 miles per hour with 1 lane in each direction. Traffic counts were conducted in the area in November of 2023. They were conducted during the morning peak hours from 7 to 10 a.m. and then 8:45. The peak hour is 8:45 to 9:45 a.m. And then in the afternoon, we inventoried traffic volumes from 3:30 to 6 p.m. with the peak hour from 4:15 to 5:15 p.m. During the morning peak hour, the two-way traffic flow along the site frontage is approximately 1,460 vehicles. And as far as the afternoon peak hour, it's approximately 1,400 vehicles. As far as traffic generation, for this site, we considered first the office building and consulted with the ITE trip generation manual to develop the traffic projections for the office building during the morning and afternoon peak hours. And as far as the traffic to be generated by the employees or activity from the construction yard, it was based on input provided by the applicant And as a result, we projected approximately 55 inbound and outbound movements during the morning peak hour and 54 during the PM peak hour. Again, that represents only during a 60-minute period. There's vehicles come in before the peak hour, during the middle of the day, and sometimes after the peak hour. Based on the area roadway network and the existing traffic patterns, we distributed traffic 50% to and from the north and 50% to and from the south. It's important to realize that this site is located approximately 600 feet north of Faraday Avenue, which, as Mr. Portnoy mentioned, is under design by the county, and what they're going to do is install a traffic signal at that location and also widen Whitesville Road through that intersection to enhance the capacity of that intersection. Consistent with the Ocean County Planning Board protocol, we expanded their traffic volumes to the design year 2035. And based on the New Jersey Department of Transportation traffic growth data, we expanded the base traffic volumes by approximately 10% to establish the 2035 traffic volumes along the site frontage. And then surcharged the site traffic that I previously mentioned and analyzed the site driveway. It was determined that the site driveway would operate at a level service D, and that's consistent and acceptable by Ocean County for both the morning and afternoon peak hours. That's for exiting traffic. Entering traffic would operate at a level service B, that being the northbound left turn movements into the site. It's important to recognize, I know there's questions raised by the police department about having a dedicated left turn lane at the site driveway. According to the latest plans developed by the county, they incorporate the site driveway. Their improvements extend up and along the site frontage. And again, their improvements, the plans show our driveway, but do not recommend a left turn lane into the site access. So they're fully aware of this proposed development and its relationship to the Faraday Avenue proposed traffic signal. As far as the site plan, Mr. Portnoy ran through the site plan design, which has more than adequate parking to accommodate the projected parking demand. The site's been designed to provide positive on-site circulation, not only for passenger vehicles, but for large wheelbase vehicles. The location of the site driveway at the northerly end of the site frontage provides adequate separation from Faraday Avenue, as well as provides site distance in excess of 500 feet in both directions, which is meets the accepted criteria for site distance. And that is something also that's reviewed by the county when reviewing the site plan application. So in summary, this project, in my opinion, can be approved. The site driveway will operate safely and efficiently and will result in levels of service that are acceptable. And the site plan has been designed to provide positive on-site circulation and adequate parking.
Thank you.
Questions from this board? From our professionals?
Just a real quick one. Mr. Cullen, any idea timing-wise when Faraday is going to get improved versus when we anticipate this driveway becoming active?
It's my understanding it could be within the next 18 months, and that would, I imagine, be fairly consistent with when this would be developed.
Good news. Thank you.
Yep.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
it's a pessimist's turn. So the county says don't do any improvements until they do Faraday?
No, what I stated is our plans have incorporated their improvements. And our analysis was, in my opinion, conservative, because I did not take into consideration the traffic signal at Faraday, which will platoon traffic and provide additional gaps in what was considered.
And again, I apologize, I don't know if you or Mr. Portnoy can answer this question. So at the proposed site entrance, is any portion of Whitesville being widened?
There is widening along our frontage. And again, that was done in concert with Ocean County.
Okay.
So my understanding is, Mr. Portnoy can qualify, is that the frontage improvements would be borne by the applicant, and the county would tie into those improvements.
I always get back to the what-if part, and I can't apologize for it, that's why I'm here. If the county improvements don't get done, would any of your results change for the northbound vehicles traveling, trying to make a left into the site while traveling north? Is there an existing bypass lane, or do people have to stop behind the vehicle that's traveling north on Whitesville to make a left into the site?
Generally, there should be adequate room for a passenger vehicle, but if it's a larger vehicle, no, they'd have to wait, similar to many of the other driveways along the northern section of Whitesville Road.
And your level of service takes into account the widening?
No, it does not. We did a conservative analysis without the county improvements in place.
Thank you.
Thank you. We can all hope for Faraday's traffic light to come as soon as possible.
Agreed.
Any other questions? Comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to call up the architect.
I have to say my favorite part.
If you want to hand them out, you can. Just going to hand out some pretty pictures.
Mr. Shea will swear you in.
Yeah, you can let her hand out the pictures first. You know, while she's doing that, I'm actually going to.
Well, give us a few minutes to review these pictures and await the attorney's return.